We believe culture grows naturally from the people, but declassified documents prove most major movements are deliberately manufactured. Think feminism, civil rights, environmentalism, counterculture, LGBTQ+ advocacy, all trace back to elite think tanks, foundations, intelligence agencies, and corporate sponsors. They are not grassroots uprisings. They are carefully crafted tools to reshape society, shift values, and concentrate power. 3 groups control cultural engineering: global foundations, Rockefeller, Ford, Gates; intelligence agencies, CIA, MI6, and corporate cartels. Their shared goal: dismantle traditional structures to build a centralized global system. Internal memos admit, control the culture, and you control the people. Movements are funded, directed, and amplified, not born from the masses. Edward Bernays, nephew of Freud, pioneered the art in propaganda. He wrote, "The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an essential element in democratic society." He taught corporations and governments how to manufacture consent, turning desires, values, and beliefs into programmable assets. Culture became a product to be designed and sold. The core formula: create or amplify a problem gives stir public fear. Outrage gives offer the pre-planned solution. This is how every major shift is achieved. Wars, crises, social tensions are engineered to make the population demand the very changes the elite already intended. Cultural movements are the public face of this process, disguising top-down control as popular demand. In the early 1900s, the Rockefeller Foundation funded entire university departments of sociology, psychology, and anthropology specifically to study and alter human behavior. Their explicit mission: remake the culture to fit a modern industrial order. They rewrote textbooks, trained academics, and defined what counts as progressive thought, setting the agenda for the next century. The CIA's Operation Mockingbird recruited over 400 journalists, editors, and artists to shape public opinion. They funded films, books, music, and magazines to direct cultural trends. What you think of as counterculture or free expression was often state-sanctioned messaging. Media became the delivery system for engineered values, turning art into propaganda. Second-wave feminism was heavily funded by the Rockefeller and Ford Foundations. Internal papers reveal the goal: break down the nuclear family, shift women into the workforce, and weaken parental authority. What began as genuine concern for equality was gradually redirected to atomize society and increase state dependency. The movement was hijacked to serve economic and political goals. The hippie revolution was not spontaneous. It was largely orchestrated. The CIA funded LSD research, supported underground newspapers, and promoted anti-establishment music and art. The objective: undermine traditional morality, patriotism, and religion, while creating a generation easily manipulated. The rebellion was scripted, steering youth toward controlled freedom. While rooted in genuine injustice, the civil rights movement received massive corporate and foundation funding. Leaders were vetted, messaging refined, and protests timed to restructure social order and expand federal power. The movement successfully advanced equality, yet was also used to centralize authority and divide society along racial lines, making governance easier. Modern environmentalism emerged in the 1970s with backing from major oil companies and global institutions. Its purpose: create collective guilt, justify higher taxes, regulate consumption, and push toward global governance. The message shifted from protect nature to restrict human activity. It became a moral framework to control behavior under the guise of saving the planet. Recent decades saw rapid normalization of gender and sexual diversity, driven not only by grassroots support, but by corporate sponsorship, foundation grants, and media amplification. The agenda: erode biological norms, dissolve family structures, and blur identity lines. It advanced genuine equality while also serving as a powerful vehicle to destabilize traditional social bonds. Wokeness and modern anti-racism are heavily funded by billionaires and foundations. The strategy: amplify racial and cultural tensions, fragment society into competing groups, and weaken national unity. While justice is a worthy goal, the movement is often weaponized to silence dissent, control language, and prevent solidarity against systemic inequality. The push for a borderless world is not natural, it is engineered. Think tanks promote multiculturalism, open borders, and global citizenship to erase national identities. The aim: create a single, uniform culture under one governing system. Local traditions are devalued. Global consumerism replaces heritage. Culture is flattened to serve a global ruling class. The rise of shop till you drop culture was carefully designed. Bernays and others taught corporations to link products to status, freedom, happiness, and identity. You are taught to express yourself through what you buy. Culture shifted from shared values to consumption, making you loyal to brands rather than community or nation. Every decade brings a new youth trend: rock and roll, punk, hip-hop, emo, Gen Z culture. All are market-tested, funded, and amplified. The goal: separate young people from older generations, create permanent rebellion, and instill values aligned with elite plans. Youth become the vanguard of change, unaware they are being led. Popular music is no accident. Record labels, media, and intelligence agencies shape genres and lyrics to alter mood, values, and behavior. Rock promoted rebellion. Rap normalized materialism. Pop spreads globalist themes. Lyrics are designed to bypass logic and embed beliefs directly. Music is the invisible background of cultural programming. Modern art, abstract expressionism, and postmodern literature were heavily funded by the CIA and foundations. Purpose: break down traditional standards of beauty, truth, and meaning. Art became subjective. Objective reality was discarded. This confusion makes the population more suggestible, easier to accept new truths defined by authority. School curricula are rewritten continuously by foundation-backed groups. History, literature, and social studies are revised to promote approved values, downplay national heritage, and normalize globalism. Education is no longer about knowledge, it is about enculturation. Young minds are shaped to accept the engineered world as natural and inevitable. The loosening of sexual mores was systematically promoted via media, psychology, and education. Objective: weaken marriage, reduce birth rates, and isolate individuals. Casual intimacy replaces long-term commitment. people turned to the state for support. The revolution freed desire, but also trapped people in a culture of fleeting connections and loneliness. The boom in mindfulness, therapy, and self-improvement is funded by big pharma and foundations. Message: your problems are personal, not systemic. Focus inward, fix yourself, and adapt to the world rather than change it. This culture deflects anger away from institutions and onto the individual, preserving the status quo. Dietary shifts like veganism, plant-based eating, and clean eating are coordinated by agribusiness and global bodies. They reshape food production, reduce independence, and link morality to consumption. What you eat becomes a political statement, giving the system power to regulate even your plate. Food choices are engineered as acts of compliance. The shift to online life, social media, and the metaverse is planned. Tech giants and governments design digital culture to replace physical community with virtual interaction. Relationships, work, identity, all move online, making surveillance and control easier. Culture becomes algorithm-driven, perfectly tailored to keep you compliant. Canceling is not spontaneous outrage. It is an engineered mechanism. Funded groups encourage public shaming to enforce cultural orthodoxy. Dissent is labeled harmful. Speech is policed. People self-censor to avoid ostracism. This creates a culture of fear where only approved views are allowed to survive. Celebrities are manufactured assets, chosen, shaped, and promoted to act as cultural guides. They dictate fashion, values, politics, and morality. You trust them more than leaders or experts. They are the new priesthood, delivering approved messages in an entertaining, digestible form. You follow their lead without questioning. Elites toggle between promoting nationalism and globalism, depending on what serves their agenda. Nationalism unites for war. Globalism unites for economic integration. Neither is natural. Both are engineered narratives. You are taught to believe one is virtuous and the other backward, never realizing both serve the same power structure. The constant focus on crime, violence, and danger is deliberate. Media amplifies rare events to keep society fearful and compliant. Fear makes people demand more security, surveillance, and authority. A culture of anxiety is easier to govern and less likely to challenge those in charge. Video games, fantasy media, and immersive entertainment are designed to divert attention from real-world issues. They offer excitement, achievement, and belonging in a virtual realm, making people less likely to organize or resist. Culture becomes a form of opiate, keeping the masses distracted and docile. The rise of anxiety, trauma discourse, and safe spaces is engineered. It normalizes vulnerability and encourages dependency on experts and systems. Resilience is framed as harmful. Fragility becomes an identity. This culture weakens resistance, making people more willing to accept guidance and control. Shifts from hard work to hustle culture to quiet quitting are coordinated. They redefine your relationship to labor to suit economic needs. You are taught to accept your role, value productivity above all else, and avoid challenging the system. Work culture is a tool to keep you productive, compliant, and dependent. Culture increasingly values youth over age, dismissing wisdom and tradition as outdated. This breaks the chain of knowledge between generations. The past is discredited. The future is sold as inevitable progress. This makes it far easier to impose new values unopposed by experience or heritage. New terms, redefined words, and shifting language rules are deliberately introduced. They narrow what you can think and say. Words like equity, inclusion, and justice are repurposed to fit the agenda. If you cannot name something, you cannot question it. Language is the building block of engineered culture. Modern culture frames health as a moral duty tied to compliance with official advice. It elevates medical authority above personal judgment. Diet, exercise, medication, and lifestyle are regulated as public matters. Health becomes a tool of control, shaping behavior under the banner of care. Society is kept in a state of constant crisis. Pandemics, climate emergencies, economic shocks. This normalizes exceptional measures and erodes freedom. Culture adapts to accept restrictions as normal. Emergencies are the fastest way to rewrite cultural norms, all under the guise of survival. Key signs: sudden, uniform adoption across all media, heavy corporate foundation funding, coordinated messaging, rapid suppression of opposing views, moral superiority attached to the trend. Once you recognize these patterns, the illusion dissolves. Awareness is your greatest defense, allowing you to choose your values freely. Yes, almost all major cultural movements are engineered, confirmed by insider admissions, declassified documents, funding trails, and observable patterns. Culture is not organic. It is a carefully constructed system to shape thought, behavior, and society. Recognizing this is the first step to reclaiming true, authentic culture and your own free mind.